story to finish off the evening. Once again, Tom McKay here with 3D Politics, David Van, David Oldham, and some of the dangers that the police involved in. This has just happened last night or day before yesterday from December 8th. Police, Arkansas officer ambushed and executed while sitting in his patrol vehicle in the station lot. Fayetteville, Arkansas. Fayetteville, Arkansas police officer was shot and killed in the police station's parking lot. Saturday night, December 7th, the department said in a statement. Evidence shows Officer Stephen Carr, a patrol officer who had served the department for more than 2 years, was ambushed and executed while sitting in his patrol vehicle, police department said. So again, plenty more to this story, I'm sure. This was obviously a hit.
Makes me wonder what was going on, what the motives were. That there's something wrong.
Clearly more to this story. Yeah. 2 officers heard gunshots behind the station around 9:42 p.m. According to police, in the parking lot they found an armed man, later identified as 35-year-old London Phillips. Confrontation ensued. The officers fired at Phillips, who was injured. Officers gave medical attention to the wounded men, and paramedics were called. The Carr and Phillips both died, so we won't know.
So 2 men died.
Carr, the police, Stephen Carr, the police officer, and Phillips, the man who shot him. Both are dead.
Okay.
Well, we assume he shot him. He was at least found in their
apparently lot. Yes, allegedly shot. The confronted who was injured. Police said officer.
We don't. Again, it's so little information yet.
I know, and I've seen this kind of scenario go all kinds of different directions. Right. You know, these men have families, and I don't want to speculate. They probably haven't even buried them yet. But
oh no,
yeah.
So this is the quandary that we're in, is finding good men to do good work, and then having their good work tainted by idiots in Florida that want to storm a UPS truck.
Yeah,
I mean it's federalized policing is a bad idea.
Well, this is why it's so important that we all become more aware or make ourselves acquainted with constitutional civics. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say that more than civics, just civics in general, because that can be any number of things, but constitutionally based civics. Because quite frankly, the police that I talk to are completely ignorant, generally speaking, of their responsibilities under the Constitution.
You know what would, if I got you a ride along with a police officer, would you take it?
Sure.
Would you behave?
No.
I don't mean that.
What you mean by behave?
No, I you know, some of my
knows nothing about
some of my police officer friends, or those of you who know him, get in touch with me. Let's see if we can't give him insights from in the squad car and see what the daily grind is like.
Well, because again, it's all about mindset before you get in the car. And we talked about that, Stephen Mills. It's your mindset, whether you're going to be a peace.
Are you a warrior or a servant?
Right. And are you a peace officer, or are you a law enforcement officer?
Yeah.
And those are radically different mindsets and ways that you approach the job. For me, I'm going to approach everything with a mind to constitutionality as best as you can. I mean, sure, there might be moments that you make mistakes.
If I could get you a chance to hijack a delivery truck next week, would you?
Yeah. Well, you know, the other day I was at Quick Trip and I'm walking out and the officers come in and I say, "Hey, how's your day going?" You know, he says, "Well, thank you for asking. I'm fine." Right. You know. Right.
Thanks for asking.
It's one of those things, because these are people that they can only benefit from having good people talking to them. You know, they need our perspectives.
Well, they do, and this is interesting that you bring that up, because I've had discussions with police officer friends of mine, and I am amazed at the corruption that is in some of these departments. I mean, the corruption, just the mismanagement, and all of the corruption that goes along with that. The CYA, all of this sort of stuff, the bad orders, telling people to do things that are actually illegal.
Get this. I talked to one man, his friend of mine, you probably know him. His mother went into law enforcement later in her life. and she saw corruption in her department and reported it. And you know what? She got in a bad situation where she needed backup. And you know how they punished her? They just left her there to deal with it herself. That's the kind of help. And you know what? It's those kind of people you got to get rid of. These were not the ones she reported on who did.
No, it's everybody else.
It was everybody else. It was the blues for the blue.
Well, and that's why I am trying to get people. I often speak in hyperbolically, but I do so somewhat strategically because it's like, folks, the problem is much deeper than you think it is.
Sure it is.
And it's the point I'm trying to make. And maybe I harm myself by speaking hyperbolically. But the point is, it is our departments are rife with this mindset.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere. It's not just, isolated spots. It's the isolated spots that don't have this.
And here's the thing, a lot of things get corrupted in our society because people are more concerned about their career than about the job that their career is. Tom, I want to say this. Oklahoma, for about 10 years, dabbled in the idea of township government. And we're actually in Fry Township. We're the township elders tonight. So, what we...
Every Monday.
Yes. But in Minnesota, where I'm from, my relatives are on township governments, and my grandfather, for many, many years, held the office of township constable. You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Constable means cop.
Right.
Okay? And he was just a farmer that when somebody needed help, he was kind of like raising the posse. It was that kind of mentality. Right. And he didn't make any money doing it. But it was his contributing, he was contributing to his township government by doing that. Now, there was something in it for him, though. He was the biggest deer poacher in the township.
You could have just kept that out of the... Dang it.
Yeah, I love my grandpa.
always taking more than his limit. Well,
count on him in a fight.
A limit would be proper regulation.
Yeah.
Not the license. But
Anything else before we get out of here?
No, it's been great.
It's been a great show tonight. Tom McKay, your host with 3D Politics. I got David Van, SoonerPolitics.org, David Oldham, ConstitutionalGrounds.com. We'll catch you again next week for another exciting edition of 3D Politics.
Yeah.